for Section 8-3A Championship Boys Soccer. The visiting Knights of St. Michael Albertville and our Spuds of Moorhead Senior High School. Just a reminder, to the west of the main bleacher area, restrooms are available as well as the Spuds concession stands. Hot dogs, popcorn, candy, water, hot chocolate, coffee, other items for sale at the Spuds concession stand. Again, a special thanks to Sanford for their orthopedic and sports medicine coverage at all of our home Spud athletic contests this fall and winter seasons. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the starting lineups for both soccer squads. First, for our visitors on the scoreboard this evening, the Knights of St. Michael Albertville. The Knights' first starter, number 0, Evan Shirk. Number 3, Alex Johnson. Number 5, Oscar Peraza. Number 7, Dylan Mollick. Number 12, Carter Miller. Number 14, Fred Poto. Number 15, Gavin Smithers. Number 17, Riley Rohrer. Number 19, Dylan Ortiz. Number 22, Tyler Jordan. And finally, number 32, Giovanni Gracevaro. The head coach of the St. Michael Albertville Knights, Mr. Tomas Rodriguez, with the rest of the coaches, players, and staff of the St. Michael Albertville Knights High School Boys Soccer Squad. And now let's meet the starting lineup for the home team on the scoreboard, our number 1 seed, Moorhead Spuds. Our Spuds' first starter, in goal, number 1, Jacob Vanette. Number 5, Ben Colborn. Number 7, Mohammed Namouk. Number 8, Max Hodney. Number 9, Abdirahman Ahmed. Number 10, Reaver Keikos. Number 11, Mohammed Hussein. Number 12, Osama Alawi. Number 17, Elliot Funk. Number 18, Parker Gast. And finally, number 21, Colin Baumgartner. The Spuds are coached by Mr. Ben Patry with the rest of the coaches, players, and staff of the Moorhead High School Spuds Boys Soccer Squad. Ladies and gentlemen, if at this time y'all please rise and direct your attention to the east end of Halmras Field and Jim Goda Stadium as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Let's play Minnesota High School Boys Soccer for the Section 8-3A Section Championship.
ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's broadcast on Spuds TV, brought to you by Muscatel Subaru, of tonight's section final matchup in the 8 AAA boys soccer section between your number 1 ranked Moorhead Spuds and number 2 ranked St. Michael Albertville Knights. Moorhead comes into this matchup with an overall record, including the postseason, of 13-2-2, and the Knights in turn have a record of 9-8-1. Now, these two teams did face earlier in the season, with St. Michael Albertville coming out on top in that one. However, it was the first game of the season. Since then, the Spuds have played 16 games, and St. Michael Albertville has played 17. So you can expect not quite completely different teams, but having adapted to the season, as obviously the records show, both winning clubs. And it will be an intriguing matchup here as we get underway at Jim Goda Stadium with St. Michael Albertville taking the opening kickoff. And we are underway here at Jim Goda Stadium in this section final matchup, as that's moved into the middle here for Rower. Along the side, tapped up. Pressured hard by the Spuds and knocked out of bounds there by Colborne. And that's thrown in for the Knights to Malik. Taken away by the Spuds, sent to Keikos, back to Colborne. Colborne all the way stretch pass across the field to Funk, who taps it back and turn to Baumgartner. Baumgartner up the middle to Hodney, over to Colborne. Colborne through 2 Knight defenders, now with 3 on him. Gets taken down just past midfield, and the Spuds will take a free kick, with Hodney electing to take that for the Spuds. And as both teams get set up there inside the attacking third, Hodney tees up for his left-footed shot and sends that to the right side of the field. That's in the air, headed up by Colborne, headed for out of bounds. And saved by Ahmed. Ahmed trying to create something here, being pressured along the sidelines. And then eventually it is sent all the way up by Dylan Malik of the Knights. And ruled out of bounds there on the side by an official. Speaking of the officials, tonight for this game, we have Brady Burnside, who's the 4th official. Dan Latola is an assistant ref along with Wes Lear, and your head referee for tonight is Connor Dunn, having been assigned by the MSHSL to tonight's matchup. As now here the Spuds have control, and that's Alawi. Alawi to the middle to Colborne. Colborne along the side to Ahmed, back to the middle for Keikos. Rather, Ahmed has it. And now here's Hussein with it. Hussein trying to dart around the side. And a foul will be ruled against the Knights inside the attacking third of the Spuds. And so now here Hodney comes to tee up for the shot. As here he goes now, taking a left-footed shot into the box. That's headed into the air. Headed towards the net, and it goes right over. Great effort there along the middle by Ben Colborne to almost put the Spuds up 1-0 here in the early stages of the game, but just going off the top of the crossbar, just barely grazing it, and now they will have to regroup at midfield after a Knights goal kick out. So here come the Knights, cutting across midfield. That's Rower sending it up along his wing. That's sent forward into the middle for Grasvaro. Tap back here, that's Grasvaro. Tapping it over to the side. Contact there between the Spuds and the Knights, and now play will continue on as here's Colborne, has that taken away from him, sent back to Miller. Shot on net against Vanette, and that's up into his left, and he will get a goal kick. Again, that goal kick will be taken from inside that small box. You can see outlining the net just at the bottom of the Spuds in the football end zone. As that's sent up to Colborne. Colborne moving it to the side to Alawi. Alawi looking for options. He was pressured hard there by Miller for that sent up. And knocked in by the Knights defense. And Vanette takes that in. Vanette looking for options before he punts that into the air towards the right sideline. That's Ahmed hitting it up and then headed forward by Keikos. Taken in by Hussein. Hussein over to Keikos, taken away from him. Tapping it over to the side of the Knights. Moved on forward. Taken in by Poto. Moved forward and knocked away by Gast. And the Knights regrouping well there, and that's sent forward. Here's Malik now, moving it to the middle. And then over to the side and just out of the reach of Gavin Smithers. And so here will be Elliot Funk taking a throw-in for the Spuds as he tosses that forward for Hussein. Hussein defended hard against, and it'll be ruled out off of the Spuds. And so there will be a throw-in here for Smithers. As he tosses that forward intended for Grasvaro. And that's taken in here by Malik. Over to the side to Smithers. Smithers up the side. Here's Ortiz. Ortiz defended against by Funk, and that's knocked out of bounds off of Funk. Ortiz takes that throw in, sends it into Roar. Roar moves over to Smithers. Smithers up the side. Taken away by Namook and sent forward. Here's Hussein with it. Hussein to the middle to Keikos. Keikos tap back for Colborne. Colborne pressured hard. He'll get it back to Baumgartner. Baumgartner sends it far right side, where that's knocked down on an impressive play by Fred Poto. But nonetheless, the Spuds will take that in and move it all the way up, as that's a hard pass sent up for Ahmed. Ahmed trying to dart around the side. He's got some speed, but nothing will come out of that, as it will be ruled out of bounds, and there will be a goal kick for Evan Shirk. Shirk tees up, sends that one out. Goes off of two players there at midfield, and it's taken up. Circling around, that's Poto, sending it to the middle. Now sent over to the side, here's Smithers. Smithers trying to drive, sends it up forward. Here's Ortiz. Ortiz with Funk on him, and that's blocked away by Namook. And staying in bounds for a little bit before eventually going out. And then tossed in here by the Knights into Smithers. Smithers, hard right-footed shot into the box, knocked down. And another opportunity knocked away by the Spuds. And a foul, as there was contact there between Dylan Ortiz and a Spud in the box. I believe that's Funk. And as the referee goes to check on him, we will have a little bit of a pause in action here. And the clock is stopped, and we await the trainer as they go attend to the injured Spud, Elliot Funk. And a good sign is here as he is up and walking off the field. And so I believe that will be number 2, Razak Al-Shamani, coming in for the injured Funk, as he's taking his spot along the near side. And we are back underway here at Jim Goda Stadium in this winner-take-all section final game. As here are the Spuds and Colborne leading that. Sends it over to the side to Alawi. Alawi back to Baumgartner. Baumgartner up to Colborne here. Along the side, tap forward by Hodney to Hussein. Hussein pressured hard. And here's Keikos with it. Keikos intended for Hodney, but between the legs, and now Namook takes that in. Now Hodney does get it just past Hussein, knocked away by the Knights, and then taken in by Ahmed. Ahmed faces some hard defensive pressure And a great play by Oscar Pereza keeps the score where it is and prevents Ahmed from getting a break in on net. As now the Spuds throw it in. Sent into the middle, hard left-footed shot. That goes off of the bottom of the football field goal post. And a goal kick here will be taken for Evan Shirk. And his goal kick is sent out and knocked down here by Grasvaro. That's headed forward, intercepted by Al-Shamani, taken in by Namook. Namook tried to get to the middle, that's taken away by Miller. Miller making a rush upfield now. Miller driving hard to the outside, sends a pass forward. That's into the box of Vanette. And there was both Vanette and Gas there in the box, facing some heavy offensive pressure from the Knights. And it'll be knocked out of bounds. And the Knights now throw it in as they drive through the crease, or rather box, and that's sent out of bounds for another Knights throw-in. That's taken away by the Spuds. Here's Keikos, up to Hussein. Hussein with a pass back off to his own heel. And here's Keikos. Keikos with a stop and go, moves over to the side. Here's Ahmed. Ahmed tapping it back to Colborne. Colborne up to Alawi. Alawi trying to hit it back to Colborne, but it bounces off of the shins of Malik. And now the Spuds have a throw-in as Elliot Funk checks back into the finals game for Razak Al-Shamani. And there was a foul against Moorhead. And now the Knights will take a free kick that's sent forward, knocked down by Colborne, taken in by Hodney. Hodney moving it up to Keikos. Keikos to the side to Ahmed. Ahmed back to Keikos. Keikos to Colborne. Colborne up the side. Here's Ahmed. Ahmed to Colborne, tapped immediately over to Alawi. Alawi facing stiff resistance. Here's Miller. And just out of reach as that goes behind the net. Or rather, that was Fred Poto there along the left wing, sending it forward, and it glanced off of a Spud defender and out of bounds, and so there will be a corner kick here for the Knights of St. Michael Albertville as we have 3 check-ins along in this game, including number 9, Dylan Anderson, number 11, Maverick Neef, and number 13, Jared Timlin. As they all come into this game, and a corner kick is squared up and taken by the Knights. Into the air, headed, and a great save by Jacob Vanette. Diving to his left and knocks it away. Keeping this game scoreless as that was postmarked for the top of the net. And now the Knights take another send in, and that's knocked away by Baumgartner. Great play there by Johnson as he sends it over. And now here's Malik sending it back over to Johnson. Johnson tried to get it to the middle. Sent to the middle. That's Johnson fighting. That was with Keikos. And that's knocked away from Colborne as Funk takes that in. Sent forward intended for Hussein, but the Knights take that in. Here's Smithers. Smithers to the middle. Here's Malik. Malik pressured hard by Colborne. Moved over to Smithers and sent into the middle, skipping just past Timlin. And the Spuds take that in. Sending it all the way into the attacking third as there's a foot race for that. Hussein wins that, heading it up. Keeping it in. He's driving. And it's kept in along the side and sent forward by the Knights. That's a block by Keikos as the Knights attempt to get it forward. And eventually it will be sent forward by Miller up and out of bounds at around the 40. That's sent into the air. That's Namook tapping it up into the middle. Contact there, no call. Knights with some good ball movement here in their defensive zone. Here's Smithers moving it up along the side. There's a foot race for that, including Miller. Miller gets to that along the sideline. Makes a move. Cutting to the middle. Tries to tap it to the middle. Knocked away by Funk. That's Ahmed settling it down. Here's Roar sending a pass to the far side that just goes out of the reach of Anderson. And the Spuds get a throw in. Alawi tosses that into the middle to Keikos. Keikos back and Gas sending a hard pass all the way up and out of bounds. As here come the Knights with a throw in as well as a substitution. Incoming number 30, Nathan Schwartz coming in to this game. That's tossed in here in a battle along the side between Ahmed and Anderson. And a foul will be ruled against Anderson. That's taken back by Moorhead. Zalawi goes between the legs of a defender, and here's Colborne. Colborne with it again. Moving it to the middle, that's Hodney. Moving it to a general area where Ahmed picks that up. Ahmed tries to get to the middle, but that's knocked away. And then taken back in by the Spuds. Colborne trying his hardest to get it upfield. He's between three now. He's got 4 St. Michael defenders around him, and he can't do anything, and that's taken away from him. Fort sent upfield, knocked away by Baumgartner. Taken in by Miller. Miller with a move around 1. Taken away by Hodney now. And sent forward and cleared. And a pass forward. Skipping past Hussein and trying to stay on sides, not attempting to go for that one. As here come the Knights off of that. Sending it to the middle, intercepted by Keikos. Keikos to Hussein. Hussein moving it up along the far sideline. Here's Ahmed. Ahmed tries to spin move. Taken out. Passed up to the middle. Here's Neef. Neef moving it back to the middle. Taking it back. And knocked away by Gast. Great defensive play by the Spuds as we have 2 check-ins along the bottom, including number 14, Justin Stahlberger for the Spuds.
For St. Michael Albertville, number 8.
And that's sent in by the Knights into the middle. Where it's a 50-50 ball taken in by Funk, moved up by Namook. Moved into the middle, tapping it back. Here's Smithers. Sent into the box and knocked away off of a hard pass. Here's a move by St. Michael over to the side. Here's Smithers. Smithers tees up for what looked like shot. It's actually a pass and a header into the middle. It's taken in by Vanette. So some great defensive plays here in the early stages of this game as both the Spuds and Knights have been tested, and they've both stood strong so far. Is that sent forward by the Knights and taken in by Baumgartner. Baumgartner sends it up, and that's knocked into the air by Timlin along the side and out of bounds off of the Knights. As here's Funk taking the throw in for the Spuds. Sends a long laser that's taken in instead by the Knights. Now he takes that back and then has that immediately taken away from him by Smithers. Smithers passes it back to Neef. Neef back to the middle. That's Timlin. Timlin moves it to Miller. Miller stop and go. Moves it to the side. Here's Smithers. Smithers tees up. Right-footed shot back into the middle. Here's Miller. Miller with a shot and a save by Jacob Vanette. Diving to his right. And he has been tested early in this game. And a kick sent that bounces just before midfield is taken in by the Knights and then taken away by the Spuds. As here's Colborne. Colborne over to Hodney. Hodney moves it over to Funk. Funk back to Hodney. Hard left-footed pass sent all the way up, intended for Stahlberger. Stahlberger trying to fight off some defenders. Sent moved by Namook, now taken in instead. And then taken away by the Spuds as here's Colborne. Back to Alawi. Alawi far side to, Funk. Funk back to Keikos. Keikos takes that in using speed, trying to dart around the side. Tees up, left-footed shot that will bounce in the box of Shirk, and he'll take that in. That's sent into the air by Shirk, a high spiraling kick. That's moved forward by Hodney, but taken away and sent up, intercepted by the Spuds, as that's Colborne has his pass intercepted in turn before he ends up getting that back and moving it back to Gast. Gast with a hard pass up to Keikos. Keikos back to Colborne, intercepted from him by Miller. Miller to the middle to Neef. Neef can't quite catch up to that one, and that's moved forward by the Spuds. As here's Miller tapping it back for a midfielder. Moving it to the side, that's Neef. Back to the middle. Shot sent in, another save by Jacob Vanette. Diving to his right and making a save on a hard night shot. And his spiraling kick is sent up into the air and sent forward for Stahlberger. Where he'll get to that, he's pressured hard by Johnson. He manages to come away with that, and here's Keikos over to Hodney. Hodney with it along the side. Over to Colborne. Colborne back to Keikos. Keikos sent forward and then knocked away in the defensive zone by the Knights. For the Spuds take that in and move it. Here's Funk. Funk moves it forward, intended for his winger up there. That was Namook. Instead, that's taken away and moved up for Miller. Miller with a couple of fakes moves it over to the side for Neef. Neef sends it back into the middle, but a curving shot will be taken in by the Spuds and sent to the far side for Funk. And Funk with a defensive play there elects to send it out of bounds and allow his group to regroup. As Funk now appears a little bit shaken up, he's checking out for number 2, Razak Al-Shamani. Also coming into the game is number 16, Abdizamik Ibrahim for the Spuds.
Number 2, Razak Al-Shamani, and number 16.
That's sent forward, and here's Hodney with a high pass. Sent forward. Couple of bounces, and that's taken in here by Timlin. Timlin moving through the middle. Trying to get around 3 Spuds. He does. Hard shot taken. Not anywhere near the nets. And a goal kick will be taken by the Spuds as we have 3 substitutions for the Knights, including number 14, Fred Poto, number 17, Riley Rohr, and 19, Dylan Ortiz, all checking into the game for the Knights of St. Michael Albertville.
Number 19, Dylan Ortiz, number 17, Riley Rohr, as well as number 14, Fred Poto.
That's sent forward by Vanette and headed up by Keikos into the middle. Here's Ahmed. Ahmed trying to fight off Johnson, but can't quite beat that as that's sent forward by Pereza. High into the air and knocked out of bounds off of the head of Schwarz. And here come the Spuds with a throw-in. That's Alawi into the middle for Ahmed. And then move forward by the Knights into the middle third. And sent forward along the side. That's a header by Al-Shamani, sending it to the sideline, knocking that away from Dylan Ortiz. Ibrahim has that stolen from him. Here's Timlin. Sent to the middle, then over to the side, and just out of the reach of Poto. And so a goal kick will be taken by the Spuds. It's been an electrifying first half of action here from Jim Goda Stadium, with the score still standing at 0. But it's been a both high-powered offense display met by some stiff defense from both teams, especially coming from the Spuds in the form of Jacob Vanette, having made 4 or 5 very tough saves so far, including jumping and diving to his left, knocking one away that was intended for the top right. And the score still stands at 0-0 with under half remaining in this first half. As here's Al-Shamani sending one forward and immediately knocked out of play by the Knights. Here's Al-Shamani. Sending it to the middle, intended for Ibrahim, but stolen away from him, sent forward. And taken in, that's Ortiz. Sending it back and then moved over to the side. Intended for Timlin, but knocked away by Colborn. Then over to the side, taken away by Ahmed and Stahlberger. Sent to the middle. Over to the side, here's Johnson. Johnson tried to move it forward, but that went off of a Spud attacker's legs. And now the Knights get a throw in, which they send in, and the Spuds knock that out. And too quick for the refs' liking on that one. And we will redo the throw in as number 11, Mohammed Hussein, and number 22, Tyler Jordan, check into the game for their respective teams. And the Knights send in a throw-in. He's taking that in, sent forward, knocked away, and up for Hussein. And a little bit of miscommunication is here's Ali. That's taken away from him and then sent back for the Knights. A far side. Not sure if that was a pass or an intended send out, but nonetheless the Spuds take a throw in here. As that's Samani moving it back for Al-Shamani. Al-Shamani up for Ibrahim. That's knocked away there by Roar. Then sent over to the side. Here's Malik. Malik sending it forward, and there's a foot race there. And we will play on here. That's sent forward by Roar and taken in by Colborn. Colborn facing pressure from behind. He senses it, moves it forward. Sends a pass just intended for in the zone. Taken in, sent back into the middle, and a little bit of a heart stopper there for the Knights before Scher can get to that. As that's moved forward here and up along the side, knocked away by Al-Shamani. And it'll be sent out of bounds as that's spun coming off of his shins. As we have a check-in, number 32, Giovanni Grasvaro, checking in for the Knights. That's headed forward by Ortiz, back into the middle, taken away. Here's Ali. Ali moves it forward to Stahlberger. Stahlberger a little bit too far ahead of Samani, and that's taken in instead by Smithers. Smithers sends that forward, knocked down by Ibrahim. Ali pressuring the Knights hard. And that's taken in by Hussein. Hussein moving along the side. Driving up the side. Stop and go and contact there, and a foul will be ruled against number 7, Dylan Malik of the Knights. And so a free kick will be taken by the Spuds. As that's teed up and sent into the box. That's knocked away by Poto. And then booted forward again by Dylan Malik. That's sent forward for Ibrahim. Ibrahim makes a move and then has that taken away. And here's Grasvaro, sends it up forward, knocked down by Al-Shamani, taken again by Grasvaro. Grasvaro sends it to the middle, knocked down by Ortiz. And Al-Shamani takes that in, sending it off of the shins of Ortiz. That throw in by Al-Shamani is taken in. That's Ali over to Al-Shamani. He sends that up. Headed by Roar. And the Knights will take a free kick from before midfield and look to shift into offense here. As you may not be able to see it on your screen, but goaltender Evan Shirk is actually lining up to take this kick. He sends a hard shot into just about the front of the big box, and that's knocked down by the Spuds. And then sent all the way up and out of bounds, where the Knights will take a throw in.
checking in for St. Michael Albertville.
There's number 12, Carter Miller, checking in for St. Michael Albertville. As both teams using their depth to their advantage with a number of substitutions so far in this game. That's knocked forward by Ali on the run. Taken in, moved over. Headed up by Smithers. Pressured by Ibrahim. Moved forward by Smithers. Here's Poto. Moves it to the middle, knocked forward. And then headed away and up to Colborne. And Baumgartner sends a far pass up. Word sent way into the air and out of bounds. And the Spuds take a throw in. Here's Al-Shamani throwing it into the middle for Samani. That bounces just past him, taken away by the Knights. That was Poto. Here's Poto again with it. To the middle to Miller. Miller moves it up along the side. There's a foot race for it. And that's won by the Spuds. And that goes out behind the nets. And there will be a goal kick taken by the Spuds. As here's Baumgartner with it. Baumgartner teeing up for a goal kick. As he's ready to go, he'll send it up. Just into a mass of both Knight and Spud players. And sent up for Ibrahim here. Trying to a little bit of misdirection there to get around some Knights. That's taken away from him here by Poto. Move forward, sent into the middle. Here's Miller. Miller in turn to the middle. That's knocked away by Gast. And sent forward where Stahlberger's in a foot race. And instead that's knocked out by Poraza. And the Spuds take a throw in here. That's tossed in, headed up, and then knocked into the air by Ali. That's thrown in, taken in by Al-Shamani. And sent over to the side by Ibrahim. Where it's taken away by the Knights, sent back for Smithers, who sends a pass up and out of bounds. And we have a whole host of substitutions for the Spuds, including number 7, Mohamed Namouk, number 8, Max Hodney, number 9, Abdirahman Ahmed, number 10, Reaver Keikos, and number 17, Elliot Funk.
Number 17, Elliot Funk. And finally, number 8, Max Hodney.
That's Funk taking the throw in. Knocked away by Smithers. Here's Namouk. Namouk sent into the middle. Here's Colborne. Colborne driving up, sends it to Hussein. Hussein back to the middle. That was for Keikos, but intended and knocked away by the Knights. Taken in by Namouk. Namouk sends in a shot that's knocked away. Headed up by Hodney into the middle. Using his height to his advantage. That was Grasvaro. Sent forward. That's Funk knocking it. Here's Colborne. Colborne back to Funk. Sends a pass to the middle of the field. Hussein heads that and then headed forward by the Knights. Taking that in, here's Ortiz. Stolen from him by Colborne, and then it dribbles out of bounds. And a throw-in for the Knights. Will move forward, and then out of bounds again.
Number 13, Jared Timlin checking in for the Knights.
In comes number 13, Jared Timlin, checking in for the Knights into tonight's matchup. That's sent in here by the Knights on a throw-in. Moved into the middle. Bouncing just past Miller and sent up by Baumgartner. That goes up into the far side, knocked off of a Knight defender. And here's Alawi. Alawi tosses that in. That's knocked out again by the Knights. And so we will do it all again, just further down into the offensive third of the Spuds. That's tap back for Ahmed. Taken in by Colborn. Colborn sends a hard shot. Almost forgot he wasn't playing football there for a second, as he would have nailed that field goal, but instead it goes high of the net here, and there will be a goal kick taken by Shirk. That's knocked down by Namook, and here's Hodney. Hodney moving it forward for Namook. To the middle, knocked away. Sent forward, knocked away by Hodney. Hodney over to the side. Here's Keikos. Keikos trying to move around, moves it to Hodney. Hodney up. Here's Namook. Namook rolling an ankle on the grass there, but he's back up. Taken by Smithers. Smithers makes a move and barely keeps it in bounds. And then contact between Namook and Smithers, and a foul will be ruled against Moorhead. And so a free kick will be taken by the Knights. And that'll be ruled a yellow card against number 7, Muhammad Namook. And he will check out of the game. And in comes number 16, Abdizamik Ibrahim. As taking this kick here is Jared Timlin.
Number 16, Abdizamik Ibrahim, checking in for Moorhead.
As here comes the kick sent in. A curving shot into the box, headed down by Colborn and taken in by Hodney. That's knocked away by Timlin. Timlin tries to send in a shot, but slipping on the grass. And the Spuds head that forward. And for now, out of danger. As that was taken away by the Spuds. And then now there was a whistle and then sent forward by the Knights. Intended far side of the box, and then a shot by Timlin will go through the uprights. But you do not get 3 in soccer. You stay at 0, and that's where the score will be at as we are nearing 5 minutes remaining in the first half. So here's Baumgartner. Baumgartner sends a hard pass out to midfield that's knocked down and taken in by Colborn. Colborn up the side. Here's Hussein. Hussein was defended very well by Tyler Jordan. And so the Knights take a throw in here. That's sent in and sent out again by the Knights. And a throw in for Alawi will be sent in for Hussein. Hussein back to Hodney, back to Hussein. Or rather, that's Ahmed. Now sent to Hussein. Hussein over to the side. Here's Alawi. Alawi sends into the box off the side of the net. As Moorhead with a pretty good chance there. But it will go off the side of the net behind the out-of-bounds line. And now a kick will be taken by Shirk. That's sent into the middle. And then moved over to the side for Smithers. Sent into the middle. Then sent back over to Smithers. Smithers moving upfield. Stops from pressure from Ibrahim. Moves over to the side. That's Roar. Roar back to Smithers. Smithers makes a move. Moves it on back. Here's Jordan. Jordan moves it over to his fellow defender. And that's sent up. That was for Johnson. Now moved over to the side. And a foot race for it. And watching that go out of bounds, the Spuds take a goal kick here. As a great defensive play by Parker Gast will give the Spuds that opportunity. As here is Baumgartner taking that goal kick. He lines up for it, considering his options. And that's sent forward and knocked forward by the Knights. And that goes out of bounds as he couldn't quite get to it in time, as that was Neef trying to go for it. But again, not quite getting there in time, and so here comes Funk to take a throw in. He sends that in over the head of Hussein, but headed forward and then mid for the Knights, as that was Timlin moving it along the side. Here's Keikos, has that knocked away from him. Here's Miller. Miller defended by Baumgartner. Now over to the side, he gets that back. Almost going to half circle there, and then that's sent forward for Hussein. Hussein keeps it in bounds. Stop and go. Back to the middle, but knocked away by Gavin Smithers, who's there for the play. Now moved up to Funk. Funk back to the middle. Colborne sends in a hard shot. That's knocked away by the Knights into the air. Headed backwards. Taken in by Alawi. Alawi over to the side. Tap back for Keikos. Keikos stop and go. He's driving to the middle. And great defense by the Knights. That prevails. And it's taken in by Hussein. Hussein's header. A little bit of contact there between the middle. And sent forward and knocked off of Ben Colborne before it's taken in by Peraza. Moving it forward to Smithers. Smithers driving forward. And knocked away by Funk. Going out of bounds. As we have a stoppage of play here. As there's a check-in, incoming number 7, Dylan Malik.
Number 7, Dylan Malik checking in for the Knights.
And a shot sent in on Vanette as he takes in the Timlin shot. And he rolls that forward. Knocked away. Here's Miller. Miller sending it to the middle with 1 minute remaining. And knocked up. And it'll depend on where the ref spots it. He gives him a corner kick. Here's Maverick Neef with a corner kick opportunity with under 1 minute remaining in the first half. Sent forward up to the far side of the crease, headed. And going behind the net. Bouncing off of the back. And here comes the Spuds with a goal kick with now under 30 seconds remaining in this section final matchup. Here's Baumgartner. Sends that all the way up. Headed forward by Colborne. Chested by Hussein, knocked down, and taken in by Hussein. Hussein sends that forward. That was Keikos trying to go for that, but knocked away by Peraza. Taken in, and that will end the first half of play as the score still stands in an electrifying first half at 0-0 on your Northwest Blind scoreboard. Stay tuned, and we will be back in a couple of minutes for second half action here at Jim Goda Stadium on Spuds TV, brought to you by Muscatel Subaru.
Natural talent, physical gifts, training advantages. To become a champion, none of that matters. True champions are the ones who are comfortable working harder, staying later, and finding that competitive edge. They are never satisfied simply doing a good job, because those who transform themselves from local talent into local folklore are the ones who continually perform beyond their limits. Bell Bank, proudly supporting champions everywhere.
Pam is a small business owner. She is swamped. Pam knows she needs to advertise, but is overwhelmed by all the options. What if there was a way for Pam to have access to a team of media experts? What if this was at no extra cost and didn't require a contract? Meet Avenue Right. Save time, money, and get peace of mind that your advertising dollars are well spent.
We are The Breakdown. For almost 2 decades, we've published the most comprehensive yearbooks on Minnesota high school sports and run the best in-season and off-season events. We cover every corner of the state. We are The Breakdown.
Boss DXT snowplows are tough to beat. Featuring dual trip tech, flared wings, and optional D-force for improved scraping and backdragging performance. Choose from 3 different sizes in steel, stainless steel, and poly. The Boss DXT is built to restore order.
Your home for Boss snowplows is Bert's Truck Equipment on Highway 75 North in Moorhead.
Before I became a real boy, life was easy. I just sat there doing sandwich stuff. But being alive is so hard. So if you don't want to get up to get a sandwich, you shouldn't have to.
Revive Professional Massage Therapy Clinic. Locally owned and operated. Open 7 days a week, day, evening, and same-day appointments available. Couples massages also available. 20 highly trained professional licensed massage therapists on staff. Now with 2 locations, South Fargo and Detroit Lakes. offering online booking and online gift certificates. www.reviveprofessionalmassage.com.
The Moorhead Legacy Education Foundation and Spud History were happy to offer services to 10 Moorhead High School class reunions this summer. The class reunions took tours of the high school, visited the Spud History Wall at Horizon Middle School, were entertained by Moorhead High School music students, and were visited by Spuddy. Start planning your class reunion today. Here's the email address, spudhistory@moorheadschools.org for more information.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and a welcome back to the second half of action here of the boys section final in the 8 AAA section here on Spuds TV, brought to you by Muscatel Subaru. I'm your play-by-play commentary for the night, Carter Castoris, and on behalf of my crew here, we welcome you for second half action. As you can see on the bottom of your screen, the scoreboard so far stands at 0-0. And that is through one half of play, as it has been an electrifying game to watch, and we are looking forward to this second half as it gets underway. Moorhead takes that kickoff and that's sent forward, headed forward by Ahmed. Intended for Keikos, but knocked down. Sent back by Johnson. Headed into the air and knocked away by the Knights to the far side. And then moved forward by Timlin, up and out of bounds. And so here comes Funk. Funk throws that into Colborne. Colborne back to Funk. Try to move, but Poto says no to that and knocks it out. And so another throw-in for Moorhead will be sent up. And it is sent up and out of bounds off of an attacking Moorhead Spud. And so the Knights of St. Michael Albertville will take a throw-in. Or rather, it will be ruled a foul against a Moorhead Spud. And so a free kick will be given to the Knights. And as we await the kick to be sent forward, as there it is, and that's taken in, knocked forward. Here are the Knights. Moving across, that's Miller. Move forward. That's Ortiz. Ortiz with it. Tries to send a far shot over to Poto. Poto takes it in. To the middle, knocked forward, knocked away by the Spuds, taken in by Poto again. Poto tries to kick it off of his left leg, but that's banked into the air. Knocked forward by Ahmed, taken in by Johnson. And then in turn, skipping past Ortiz before a shot goes up into the air off of him and kept in by Ortiz. Taken in by Alawi before it's knocked away from him by Johnson. And now the Spuds take a throw-in with just under 2 minutes having elapsed in this second half of action. And there's a Lowry's throw-in immediately knocked out of bounds by Riley Rohr. Here's a Lowry. Alawi with it, tosses it forward. That was in for Keikos, and skipping just off of his foot a little bit too much. And now here's Johnson with a throw in for the Knights. Sent into the middle, knocked back over to Johnson. Johnson into the middle for Poto, knocked away by Baumgartner. Taken in here by the Knights, moving along the side. That's Smithers. Smithers sends it back. And then chip forward, intended in the middle for Poto, but knocked away by Colborne. Taken in here by Smithers. Smithers making a move. He's around 2. Taken in by Poto now. Poto cutting to the middle, knocked down by a Spud. That was Hodney, with Poto landing on top of him. And now, here are the Knights moving it forward, and a pass with a little bit too much on it by Smithers will be sent out of bounds. And Hodney looks a little bit shaken up after contact with Fred Poto in the middle there, and he will have to check out of the game as in comes Lukman Ali in his place. As he is walking off the field here with a little bit of a limp, you have to hope that Hodney is okay. Hodney is a senior on this soccer squad, as are many of the both starters and players there on the bench. In fact, both of these teams are very upperclassmen heavy, with well over half of their rosters coming from both 11th and 12th graders. So a little bit of a more on the line here for both teams, as those seniors obviously want to go to the state championship, and with that on the line tonight, you can expect that to be part of the reason why this is such an electrifying game to watch, with both teams giving it their all. Is that sent forward by the Knights, taken in by Alawi. Sent up, here's Ahmed, tapping it for Keikos. Keikos tries to stop and go, has that knocked away by Miller, but he regroups, sending it over to Ahmed. Ahmed to the middle, here's Keikos. Keikos tries to hit Ali, but skips away from him, and there's Miller. Miller has it stolen by Colborne. Here's Colborne. Colborne with 3 Knights on him makes a move around to the side, and he'll get to that. Colborne tries to drive to the side, keeps it in, or rather they'll rule it went out of bounds on his own kickback, and that's sent in by the Knights. Move forward and off of the shins of Ali. Move forward to Miller. And between his legs and out of bounds on an Alex Johnson pass, and the Spuds take a throw-in. As that's Ali sending it into Colborne. Colborne has the ball taken away and kicked from him by Malik, and that's sent out of bounds. And the Spuds, Alawi will take a throw-in to Ahmed. Ahmed with the play off the shins of Johnson, and now here's Alawi. Alawi knocking it into the air. Johnson and Ahmed both getting a piece of that, sent into the air, taken in by Ortiz. Ortiz tries to send it to the far side, but Funk will watch that roll out of bounds, and he'll take a throw-in. As that's tossed in for Baumgartner. Baumgartner moves it forward. Moved into the middle for Keikos. And Namook overshoots that, and so the Spuds have to regroup. As that's sent forward into the box. And coming out for that is Shirk. Shirk exploring options from the top of his box. He'll line up and send that high and into the air. Moving out of the way at the last second was both Miller and Alawi. And Gass playing defense there knocks it out of bounds, and a throw-in will be taken by Johnson of the Knights. As with it here is Ortiz. Ortiz far side to Poto. Poto knocks it down. He'll send in a shot, and Vanette swallows that up for his first save of the second half. As Vanette rolls that out to his left, taken in by Baumgartner. Or rather, that was Funk sending it up instead. Now it's sent up by the Spuds. Taken in by Johnson. Has that stolen by Ahmed. Back to Hussein. Hussein, hard-fought ball for it with Johnson. Johnson comes away with that one. Skips one past Ali and taken by Colborne. Colborne far side. Knocked down by the Knights and sent forward by Smithers. Here comes Colborne. Colborne has that skip just a little bit too far from him, and instead he'll head it forward. Not sure if that was intentional or not. And Ahmed will knock a pass, or rather a shot, off of Alex Johnson, and Alawi will take a throw-in for the Spuds, moving on down the field. Well in line with the box here. Is looking around for somebody to throw it into. He hits it to Ahmed, and that'll go off of Ahmed and out of bounds, and so now the Knights will take a throw-in. As in comes Alex Johnson to take that. That sent forward in from Malik, hit forward by Johnson, and going off of Hussein. And Shirk comes out of his box to play that. And a hard line drive pass is sent up, headed in by Colborne, sent forward far side. Into the middle for Hussein. Hussein back to Keikos. Keikos over to Colborne. Colborne to the middle for Ahmed. Back to Hussein. Hussein splits two defenders, driving around the side. But defended very well by Tyler Jordan. And now we have a Breakdown Sports corner kick for your Moorhead Spuds. As usually, Max Hodney would be taking these. But with the injury right now, it will be Lukman Ali instead for the Spuds, sending it into the box. As he lines up here, he'll send in a hard curving shot that's read perfectly by Evan Shirk, and he'll instead punt that out. Taken in by Miller. Miller tries to get around Alawi, but that's taken from him. Alawi driving up along the side, moving forward with speed. Stops, considers options, sends in a left-footed shot into the box that's knocked down by Malik, and then sent forward for Miller, but that's intercepted by Colborne. Colborne sends it forward. Here's Ahmed. Ahmed keeps it in, or rather it'll be ruled out of bounds by, or I thought it was ruled out of bounds by an official. Instead, that's taken in by the Spuds. As here's Ali moving it to the side. That's Funk. High, sent into the box. Headed forward, but nothing will come out of that. Still in the box. Here's Hussein. Hussein moving out of the box now, pressured hard. And he'll watch that roll out of bounds off of Tyler Jordan. And here's Alawi. Alawi moves it after a throw-in to Ali. Tap back over to the side. Here's Alawi. Alawi sends it to the middle, knocked away by the Knights. And then sent out of bounds off of the foot of Johnson, trying to tap it forward, but instead it hooks out of bounds. And instead the Spuds get a throw-in, trying to keep it in, but not quite able to get to that was Ahmed, and instead Shirk will take a goal kick here as he lines up for it. He'll send that all the way up. Knocked down by Colborne, a hard header hit up to his up and to the left. Moved along the side and out of bounds by a Knights pass, and the Spuds take a throw in here. That's Funk. Funk lining up for it. And instead we will have a number of substitutions, including number 8, which I do apologize, I do not have a name with. Number 11, Maverick Neef, and number 30, Nathan Schwarz. And here come the Spuds, sent forward, headed away. Taken and sent over to Colborne.
Number 13, Jared Dimlin.
Here's Gast. Gast lining up for it. Almost getting a break was Hussein, but that's swallowed up by Shirk, and he prevents any further opportunity. And a far throw sent up by Shirk that's taken in by Colborne. He makes a couple of moves, sends it over to Al-Shamani. Al-Shamani has that bounce off of the outside of his foot instead of the inside, which he had intended. As also in comes number 32, Giovanni Grasvaro, and number 14, Justin Stahlberger, both for their respective teams. Sent in by Johnson. Knocked back to him. Taken him by Ahmed. Ahmed back to Keikos. Keikos over to Colborn. Colborn with a fake pass up over to Al-Shamani. Al-Shamani tries to pass him to that up, but that's knocked off of the shins of Dylan Ortiz, and now he'll get a throw in. Sent forward, knocked out again by Ortiz. So moving past the midfield mark, that'll be another Al-Shamani throw in, sent up, tap back to him, and then off of the foot of Nathan Schwarz. And so here comes Al-Shamani with a throw in. That sent in, knocked into the air by Ortiz, taken in by Miller. Miller trying to move it across the field. Fighting for it with Colborn. Colborn takes that from him with a nice move. Sent into the middle, knocked away there by the Knights, moved up forward, then moved forward by Ahmed. Ahmed in a foot race for it against Ortiz. Ortiz wins that, but that's still taken in by Moorhead. Here's Ali. Over to Ahmed after moving it off of a Knight defender. Back to Colborn. Colborn with a move. Far left-footed shot. And it'll bounce out of bounds to the right of Evan Shirk.
Number 9, Dylan Anderson checks in for St. Michael Albertville.
As in comes number 9, Dylan Anderson for the St. Michael Albertville Knights here with over 27 minutes remaining in the second half of play. That's moved forward. Sent up by Jordan. Knocked into the air again by Gast. And then headed forward and knocked away by Gast. Taking it in, move forward off of the head of Keikos. Over to the side, taken away by Schwarz. Schwarz driving forward. Tries to find a seam, but Baumgartner closes that and moves it forward. Knocked into the air, taken in. That's Miller with a shot, sending it up and off of the goalpost bottom. And a goal kick will be taken by the Spuds. Here's Baumgartner teeing up for the goal kick, which he will take for Vanette. As he readies and sends it forward. Or it's headed by the Knights. That was Smithers, and then it'll be sent out of bounds off of a Knight attacker. And the Spuds will take a throw-in, as here's Elliot Funk taking it. He'll send that forward. And there will be a ruling along the side against the Spuds as Funk goes up way too far, taking that throw in, and instead he'll back up and do it over again as that's knocked away by the Knights. Sent forward from Miller to the side, and then Al-Shamani is knocked down by Anderson, and now there will be a free kick taken by Parker Gast of the Spuds. Gast lining up for that with a fake. Realigns himself. Sends that forward up for Colborn. Said that'll skip away from him. Will be sent forward by Schwarz. Knocked down by Baumgartner. Sent in. Far side foot race in the box. Sent forward and over the net. But it will go off of a Spud defender, and there will be a corner kick taken by the Knights here as they look to put themselves on the board. As here comes the Knight corner kick being sent in and headed away by Colborn, sending it to the far sideline. And then sent up and out by the Spuds with a great defensive effort there, keeping out the corner kick from even touching Jacob Vanette. And now they will take it in and send it forward. That's intercepted by Smithers. Smithers moving to the middle, taken away between the legs of Miller. That's Keikos moving it back to Colborne. Colborne over to Alshamani. Alshamani trying to go around the Knights, but that's taken away by Anderson. Anderson in the box now. And with too much contact there of the ref's liking, there will be a free kick taken by the Spuds. As here's Gass that'll end up taking that. As that's just rolled up for Colborne. Colborne sends it over to the side to Alshamani. Alshamani met hard with stiff resistance by Anderson. And he's knocked off the ball by Miller. Moved over to the side to Schwarz. Schwarz back over to the middle. Knocked down and sent forward by the Spuds. That's headed into the air, taken in by Keikos. And then knocked forward by the Knights. Stolen by Keikos. Keikos moving up the side. Here's Ahmed. Ahmed trying to get a break, rushing along the far side. But Grasvaro with a great defensive play will in turn try to make his own rush before Alshamani knocks it up and out of bounds. And the Knights take a throw in. Is that sent in? And now moved up along the sidelines. And there is a whistle from the referee, as it will be, I believe, out of bounds. As in comes number 16, Abdizamik Ibrahim. Number 12, Osama Alawi. And number 8, Max Hodney, all checking back into the game. So Hodney cleared to play by the trainer down there. Having come out of the game earlier with an apparent injury, he is okay now and back ready to play. As that'll be sent forward and into the box of Shirk. That's sent into the air, bouncing past both Alawi and Anderson. Headed forward, or tried rather, by Miller, as he's fighting with Gast, and he'll end up winning that battle. Knocked away by Keikos. And then sent forward and off of Carter Miller, where it's sent in for Colborne. Colborne has that taken away from him by Grasvaro. Grasvaro trying to cut to the side, but a couple of Spuds there with a great defensive effort. And now, just for extra measure, that will be Funk and his crew that send it out of bounds for a Knights throw-in. An intended header there from Keikos as he dives across. Sent to the far side of the box and racing for it, but not able to get there in time, was Dylan Anderson. And so a goal kick will be taken by the Spuds. As here's Baumgartner lining up to take that. Teeing up forward, exploring his options. And he'll send a line drive kick out to just about midfield, where that's taken in and sent forward by Smithers. Knocked forward by Grasvaro along the far side. Here are the Knights trying to make something happen. Sent into the middle, way into the air for Schwarz. Schwarz knocks it forward just ahead of where Carter Miller was sitting, as well as Dylan Anderson. And Vanette swallows that up and sends a kick out to just about midfield. That's taken away by Keikos. Keikos makes a move, tries to make another move, trying to go around Smithers. Sends it to Ibrahim. Ibrahim sends it over to Keikos. And the Knights send that up and out off of Abdizamik Ibrahim. And so the Knights instead will take a throw-in. Is that sent in and move forward immediately here for Grasvaro. Grasvaro chipping it up along the far side, sideline. Moves it forward. He's got a break. Foot race. Knocked out by the Spuds. As that was number 11, Maverick Keene, with a break there. Almost. He also had Carter Miller as well as Dylan Anderson breaking there with him, with only 2 Spud defenders. But they prevail, and now a corner kick instead will be taken by the Knights. As that'll be sent in and a bouncer along the ground, sent out and outside the box. Johnson sends that forward. And knocked out by Gast. And a weird bounce off of a St. Michael defender's legs. And that's moved over to Ibrahim. Taken in by Grasvaro. Moved over to the side, taken away by Funk. Funk back to Colborne. Colborne over to the side. Chipped forward immediately for Keikos. Keikos with hard pressure sends it to the middle. Here's Hodney. Hodney makes a move. Send to the middle. Knocked away there by Peraza. And that's in turn moved forward and out of bounds by Colin Baumgartner. As we have a substitution including number 6 for Lukman Samani of the Spuds and number 14, Fred Poto for the St. Michael Albertville Knights. That's moved forward, taken in by Grasvaro and then sent back out. And just bouncing, sent into the air. Here's Samani moving it forward, headed again forward. And some contact there, and eventually that's Grasvaro that comes out with it, trying to move it forward. Miller missing the header instead. That was Gas beating him to it. Now taking it in, moving it over to the side. As that actually goes off the feet of Abdirahman Ahmed. And now Johnson takes a throw in for the Knights, which will be headed up by Gast and sent forward where Samani takes a high kick at it. And then Hodney sends that well up and out. And some contact there between Stahlberger and the Knights. And there will be a foul ruled against Stahlberger. And once again, as we saw earlier in the game, Evan Shirk comes up to take the free kick for the Knights. And he sends that out. Knocked down by Hodney. Trying to fight off a couple of attackers. That's moved up. Kicked out to the side and out of bounds. And the Knights take a throw in, which will be sent into Anderson. Anderson trying to get around Alawi, but Alawi manages to get a foot on that. And there will be a foul ruled against Anderson, and he gets a yellow card. And he has to check out of the game. As in goes number 19, Dylan Ortiz, replacing him.
Number 19, Dylan Ortiz, checking in for the Knights.
As here's Osama Alawi, ready to take the kick. As number 7, Mohamed Namouk, checks into the game, as well as number 11, Mohamed Hussein. That Alawi kick will be taken away by Miller. Miller trying to make a break, but some great Spuds defense will prevent that from happening. That'll go off of Samani. Move forward here, Smithers. Over to the side to Poto. Poto makes a move. And a good move at that. Before contact will be ruled against him by the Spuds, and he will get a free kick. And I believe that's a yellow card given to Ibrahim, as in comes number 3, Keaton Keeping.
Number 3, Keaton Keeping, checking in for Moorhead.
As he checks in along the side. And also coming into the game is number 9, Abdirahman Ahmed.
Number 9, Abdirahman Ahmed, also in for the Spuds.
And as the free kick is ready to be taken by the Knights, you can see both teams lining up. Here's Grasvaro lining up, sends in a right-footed shot along the ground into the box, sent into the air. And a cycle kick by Poto will just bounce harmlessly to the left of the net. And the Spuds will take a goal kick here with just over 15 minutes remaining in the second half of play. As that's sent up by Baumgartner, taken in by Grasvaro, moved up to the side, intended for Poto but knocked away. Here's Smithers, moving it to the middle and then tap forward. Taken away by the Spuds. Here's Colborn. As that knocked away from him, here's Miller. A great slide tackle by Gast. Keeps them for now in the middle third before they move it up, cycling it up along the side here for Ortiz. Ortiz manages to keep it in. Ortiz along the line makes a move, sent into the middle. Knocked away. St. Michael, Albertville buzzing here, but the Spuds will prevail and send it up for Hussein before he has that taken away from him by Jordan. Jordan moves it forward and then sent out by Alawi. Here are the Knights trying to get that same momentum going again. As here's Peraza. And Colborn knocking the ball out of bounds there. And here's Peraza. And instead, he will elect Alex Johnson to take the game, or excuse me, take the throw in for him. Is that sent into the middle and then kicked up by Grasvaro in the air. Knocked down. Here's Grasvaro, chance. Stopped by the Spuds. Moved over to the side, and a shot taken on net. Knocked away by Jacob Vanette. Diving to his right. And keeping the score at 0-0 on your Northwest Blind scoreboard. And so a corner kick will be taken because it did go out of bounds by the St. Michael Albertville Knights. As that's lined up. And move forward. And knocked down by Hodney. Sent over to the side again. Here's Miller. Miller tees up for a shot that's going to go out of bounds. And so a goal kick will be taken by the Spuds. And Vanette throws that over to Baumgartner. And Baumgartner will take the goal kick for him. As we do have a substitution, in comes number 10, Reaver Kakos for your Moorhead Spuds. Checking in here into the game. Kicked into the air. Knocked down along the side by Smithers. Taken in by Poto. Poto tries to make a move, but the ball disagrees with him and instead rolls out of bounds. And the Spuds will take a throw in. Is that sent forward? And then hit into the air by Timlin. Here's Colborn. Colborn moves it just past Hussein. And that's moved forward here. Knocked away by Colborn. Hussein trying to get to that. And they'll go out of bounds, ruled off of the Knights. And so Alawi will take a throw in. Sends that forward well into the air. Headed up by Johnson. Contact with Ahmed. Hit into the air. Here's Kakos. Kakos trying to drive into the middle. Sends in a left-footed shot into the box. Knocked into the air. Still there. And it'll be ruled a handball against the Spuds. And for now, the Knights will go into offensive mode before that's knocked away by Colborn. Here's Smithers moving it up for Poto. Poto with a move. And then that's knocked out of bounds by Alawi. Or rather, Namook along the sidelines. And the Knight throw-in is given the okay. Sent in and tapped back to the thrower. Where it's moved along the side. And taken away by the Spuds. Moved to the middle. Here's Hussein. Hussein has that stolen from him. And a foul will be called against the Knights. And so a free kick from exactly about a yard ahead of midfield will be taken by Hodney, as the Spuds even send up defender Colin Baumgartner in an effort to try to get something going into the box. That sent into the air. A header is immediately knocked back out and sent back in by Namook to the far side. Kept in bounds in a foot race here between Keeping and Poto. And Poto does win it, but sends it out of bounds. for Keeping to take a throw in as he sends that in. Knocked away again by the Knights. And now here come the Spuds with another throw in, just moving on down the field this time. That's tapped back for Keeping. Keeping over to Hodney. Here's Keikos. Keikos defended hard. Sends it back to Colborne. Colborne sending a far pass up. And it will go off of nobody and roll out of bounds. And so a goal kick will be taken by Evan Shirk. Here's Shirk lining up for a kick. Sends it far side, knocked forward by Alawi. Here's Hussein, tries to move it, expecting Ahmed to be there. He ends up keeping that in before Ahmed sends it immediately back out. Move forward. Here's Ahmed. Ahmed moves over to Colborne. Colborne to the side for Hussein. Hussein trying to move to the middle, but that's taken away from him on a great defensive play by the Knights. And now here's Miller with it. Miller on about a 1-on-6 before Poto catches up to him. He sends a pass up along the side. Poto's got a chance, sends it far side for a Knights goal. And the Knights take the lead in this section final game 1-0 with 8:28 remaining in this game. As that was number 14, Fred Poto, from number 12, Carter Miller, for your first goal of the game, coming at 8:28 remaining in this second half.
Fred Poto, after that second half goal, 8:28, makes it 1-0, St. Michael Albertville.
And the Spuds take the kickoff and send it back to Alawi, who in turn sends it back out of bounds. Here's Johnson. Johnson sends it in. That's for Miller. Hodney trying and succeeding. Sends it out of bounds. As now here's a throw in for Johnson. That's sent in, tapped up by Alawi. Keikos with it. Keikos sends a roller to the far side. Here's Namouk. Sends it forward, intended for Hussein, but knocked away there by Peraza. Cycled into the air, knocked forward by Poto, taken in by Grasvaro. Move back, sent up by a Spud, now taken in by Alawi. And knocked off the ball. And no call, as it will be ruled off of Moorhead and sent in by Johnson. Johnson sends it to Ortiz. Ortiz moves it on over. Here's Grasvaro. Grasvaro sends it up. And Vanette takes that in as he explores options. He'll be ruled to punt that. Elect to punt that. As that goes into the air and bouncing past a couple of players, and eventually will be taken in by Ahmed. Ahmed kicks it off of the shins of Timlin. And now we have a check-in as number 6, Lukman Samani, comes into the game.
Number 6, Lukman Samani, checks in for Moorhead.
And now here's Olawi's throw-in, sent into the field of play. Here's Keikos with a chance. Keikos sends a shot in, that's blocked, and it'll roll out of bounds off of Johnson. And so the Spuds obviously looking to get something going with this throw-in. And we'll send it back. Here's Gast. Gast with a curving shot to the middle, knocked away by the Knights. Here's Baumgartner moving it up over the heads of a couple of players. And then move forward, knocked down by Baumgartner and moved over to Keeping. Or rather, that's Funk. Funk moves it back to the middle. Here's Samani. Samani with the move, trying to get it through. And then taken away. And move forward. There's a foot race for it and knocked away by the Spuds. And so now the Knights will get a throw in well inside the offensive third. And that will be taken along the side by Johnson, or rather Anderson, who throws it in. That's knocked away by Samani. That's up for Keikos. Keikos has that knocked away from him by Timlin. And a throw in by Ahmedin for Keikos, headed over to Colborne. Colborne up for Samani. Samani over to Keikos. Keikos tries to get that away, but a play by the Knights. And that's over to Colborne. Colborne, who was knocked down on the play, has that taken from him by Poto. Poto has that knocked away by Colborne, and the Spuds will regroup defensively with under 5 minutes remaining in this second half. And that will go off of Dylan Ortiz's legs. And so the Spuds will take a throw in, which will be tapped back to Alawi, over to Samani, over to Colborne. Colborne moves it back. Here's Gast to the side. That's Baumgartner. Sent to the far side by Hodney. And a miscommunication. And so Fred Poto takes a throw in for the Knights, as that'll be sent in, knocked up by Grasvaro. And then sent out again, and kept in, rather, by the Spuds. Moved up, knocked away, taken in, and then moved forward by the Knights. Stolen pass there, move back. That's Johnson moving it over to Ortiz. Ortiz back to the middle. Here's Timlin with a chance, and he'll send a shot well up and out of play. And the Spuds in hurry-up mode here. Here's Baumgartner awaiting the goal kick. He'll send that all the way up. Knocked down by Poto. Sent forward and up by Hodney. And now here's Poto. Poto at about midfield. Moves it over to the side. Taken in by Ortiz. Ortiz moves it to the middle. Foot race. Knocked down. And a great regroup by Max Hodney, or rather Parker Gast, will result in the Spuds shifting gears to offense before that's knocked away and taken in by Timlin. Timlin driving to the far side, takes a shot. Not sure if Vanette got a piece of that, but it ends up going wide of the net anyway. And turns out Vanette did get a piece of that, and a corner kick will be taken by the Knights. And as they line up here with multiple defenders back, it'll be sent far side of the box, bouncing a couple times, and taken in here by Poto. Poto just boxing out Moorhead, managing to keep it in bounds. And then a foul will be ruled against Poto. And now a kick will be taken by the Spuds. They'll be sent up. Here's Hussein with it. Looking for options, sends it far side. And moved forward by Ortiz, headed up by Hodney. And knocked down. That was Dylan Ortiz knocking down Abdirahman Ahmed. And now Hodney will take a free kick with 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining in the game, as the Spuds quickly move up. As Hodney sends a shot into the box, headed forward, and goes out to the side. And it'll be ruled a Breakdown Sports corner kick for the Spuds here with almost no time remaining. Spuds pulling their goalie. Up comes Jacob Vanette as he moves forward. And here's Hodney awaiting the shot. Awaiting the whistle here as both teams get set up. You can see Vanette in the box. When the shot goes in, sent far side, and they score! The Spuds get a goal with 1:20 remaining in the second half, and tie up the game at 1-1 on a great effort I do apologize. There's a huge mass of people. I did not catch who scored that goal, but the Spuds tie it up anyway with 1:20 remaining in the game. On a great placed ball by Max Hodney. And it will be Colin Baumgartner, number 21, who gets that goal. And so both teams, you have to wonder if they will kill off the clock. But instead, there will be a yellow card handed out to somebody. I saw the ref hold it up, not sure who it was on. I do believe it was Moorhead. That will be Hussein getting that yellow card and checks into the game his replacement, number 16, Abdizamik Ibrahim.
Ibrahim checks into the Moorhead Spud lineup.
And so a free kick will be taken by the Spuds with just over a minute left. As taking it now here is Colborne. Colborne sends it forward, a booming line drive, sent into the box, nobody going to that. And now that will be taken in by Shirk. Shirk sends a hard left-footed shot that bounces around midfield, taken in by Colborne. Colborne using his chest, moving it forward, trying to fight off Poto, but Poto takes that away. Poto moving across midfield. Over to the side, here's Johnson. Johnson trying to move it to Ortiz. That's knocked away from him by Alawi. Alawi up the side and out of bounds with 40 seconds remaining in the game. Here's Johnson. Johnson throws that forward, headed by Ortiz, and that'll go out of bounds. And so as a new ball is given to Alawi, number 11, Mohammed Hussein, checks into the game, back for Moorhead. And with 20 seconds remaining, Alawi throws that into Gast. Gast has that glance off of the shins of Ortiz. And now the Spuds will take a throw in here with just about 5 seconds remaining in the game. That'll be tossed in. Ortiz with it. And with almost no time, time will now expire on an exhilarating regulation. We will head into overtime with a score on your Northwest Blinds scoreboard standing at 1-1 in this section final game. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to an exciting game. We are in overtime here in the section final game for your Moorhead High School Boys Soccer Club at Jim Goda Stadium. Your first and second half regulation time ended in a 1-1 tie, and so we will now play golden goal overtime. It is a 20-minute sudden death overtime that's split into 10 10-minute halves, where they will flip sides in between. And if we still happen to have a tie after that, we will go into penalty kicks as instead that's sent forward and over to the side, where it somehow curves and stays in. And with it now is Ortiz as that goes off of his feet. And rather, as I was saying before I was cut off by a chance by the Knights, is if the score is still tied after those two halves in the 20-minute overtime, we will go into penalty kicks. That has taken place already in these section finals, with Sartell and Brainerd going into penalty kicks, as well as St. Michael Albertville and Rogers. St. Michael Albertville in the game before this defeated the Rogers Soccer Club in a shootout 5-4. So they've been through this before, as now they look to just end it in overtime as they're inside the box right now. That's moved out for Ortiz. Ortiz sends a shot in, knocked down. Up for Grasvaro, sent forward by Miller, into the air, knocked down. In the box, here's Poto. And it'll be ruled a handball against the Knights. And then knocked forward by the Spuds on their free kick. Here's Grasvaro. Move forward, curving into the middle, knocked down by Baumgartner, then knocked again by Grasvaro. With a little bit of a tip from Ortiz, the Spuds send it forward. Here's Namook taking it in. Over to Colborne. Colborne moves it forward. Hodney taps it back to Baumgartner. Baumgartner sends it into the air. And that's moved forward by two separate Knights and then headed forward by Baumgartner. Taken in here by Miller. Miller stops along the sidelines. Tries to move it around Funk, but sends it out of reach, and a great defensive play by Funk will result in the Spuds getting a goal kick here. As now here's Baumgartner taking that goal kick. And he's given the okay. That's sent on up and headed into the air, where Hodney in turn moves that forward. That's knocked down over to the side for Smithers. Smithers in turn sends that back to goaltender Evan Shirk, where he's pressured hard by Hussein, who almost gets to that. And in turn, that'll be moved up and sent over to Smithers. Smithers back into the middle, tap forward. Here's Ortiz. Ortiz kicks it out of bounds, and here's Funk with a throw in. Funk tosses it over the head of Ortiz, and now it's moved in. Here's Namook. Namook over to Hussein. Hussein back to Funk. Funk sends in a booming pass that's knocked up forward by Peraza and moved forward by Grasvaro before that's intercepted by Gass, sending it into the air, headed forward by Smithers. Move forward by Peraza and then headed forward again by Baumgartner. Moved up by Peraza, headed forward by Gass. Gass sending it out to the side, and it'll roll out of bounds. As now there will be a throw-in for the Knights. That'll be Dylan Ortiz taking that, sending that back to Smithers. Smithers trying to cut around Namook, cuts across the middle, and that'll go off of Smithers, and he will send that out of bounds behind the goal, and so a goal kick will be taken by the Spuds. Here's Baumgartner. Sends it over to Gass. Gass sends that forward. Off the foot of Keikos up to Hussein. Hussein moves it up to Keikos. Keikos tries to tap it over. Back to Colborne. Colborne back to Alawi. Over to the side. Here's for Hodney. Has that bounce off of his knee. Sent forward. And it would have been offsides. And Keikos realized that. And so he watches that bounce longingly into the hands of Shirk, where a high kick will be sent just past midfield and headed out by Colborne. And a throw-in now will be taken by Dylan Ortiz, or rather Smithers of the Knights. That'll be knocked down by the Spud, sent up, headed forward. And nothing will be ruled by the ref. And that'll be sent forward, knocked away by Gast. And the Knights trying to drive forward here, driving through the middle, knocked away, taking it back. And move forward, headed into the air there by Roar. And it will be ruled, I believe, a handball against Jared Timlin. And so the Spuds here will take a free kick, which is moved on forward to Alawi. Alawi moves that forward for Ahmed. Ahmed tries to get that to the middle, but that's knocked away from him. Now taken up, move forward. Off of the foot of, I believe, Poto. Move back to Hodney. Hodney over to the side to Funk. Funk tried to move there. That didn't work out from him. Here's Ortiz going the other way. Ortiz knocked off the ball by Colborne. He'll send that forward, a pass intended for Hussein. And instead, that'll go into the box of Shirk. And the Spuds will shift back to defense as Shirk tosses that up and headed down by Hodney. Words in turn taken in by Miller. Or rather, that was Roar that moved it up, and now they have it. The Knights, rather, sent forward and through the goalposts on a great play by the Spuds as there's an injury in the backfield. Not sure if Vanette did get a piece of that or if that was the defender in front that slid through and made the ball deflect up and out, but nonetheless, a great effort from the Spuds there with 3 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in this overtime to keep the score at 1-1.
Number 22, Lukman Ali checking in for Moorhead.
Number 22, Lukman Ali checks in here for Moorhead in this overtime. That's sent forward, headed up by the Knights, sent forward for Grasvaro. Grasvaro with a chance now, kind of trying to catch up to the ball. He cycles back around, sends a pass back into the middle, knocked out by Hodney. Here's a chance for Smithers. Smithers settles it down, moves it over to the side, and out of the reach of Neef. And then thrown in, knocked down by Smithers. And Ibrahim steps over the line, and so in turn, the Knights will get a throw in. Here's Miller. Miller trying to circle around, passes back to Neef. Neef hits Smithers. Smithers darting to the middle with speed, moves it into the middle. Here's Grasvaro. Grasvaro with a chance. Driving to the outside, and a great play by Ibrahim sends it out of bounds. And the Knights will take a corner kick. A pivotal moment here in this overtime as the first corner kick is taken by Maverick Neef. He sends that in. That's headed by nobody. Sent forward and through the goalpost by Carter Miller. And a goal kick will be taken here by the Spuds. And now that'll be Colin Baumgartner taking that kick. Baumgartner looking for options here. Sends it forward, intercepted by Miller. Miller with a chance, makes a move, takes a shot. Save by Jacob Vanette. Great read by Jacob Vanette on a mistake by Baumgartner. Not sure who the pass was intended to, but nonetheless, Vanette makes a spectacular save to keep this overtime going. And now Moorhead takes a throw in here along the near side, or rather, they were before a substitution of number 14, Justin Stahlberger, for the Spuds takes place. We have 1 minute remaining in the first 10 minutes of play in this overtime. And that sent out and almost bicycle kicked by Neef before it's sent to the far side. Here's Alawi. Alawi watches that roll out of bounds. I don't even know if Miller knew that Alawi was going to play it or not. And that's sent forward. And there will be a ruling along the side, as I believe that went, yes, out of bounds before that could be moved up, sent forward by the Knights into the box, and headed out of bounds by Gass with 20 seconds remaining here. Sent in, a shot will go well away from the nets. And now a goal kick will be taken by Vanette, as you saw him looking back at the clock there, trying to waste some time. And as time expires here in this first 10 minutes, they will flip sides. And another 10 minutes will take place. And so we stand scoreless so far through 50 minutes of play. And so through the first half of play in the first overtime, the score still stands on your Northwest Blind scoreboard at 1-1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you back to this last 10 minutes of overtime here before either somebody scores or we go into penalty kicks in this section final game in the AAA section of Minnesota State Soccer. Here again, I'm Carter Castores on Spuds TV, brought to you by Muscatel Subaru, and on behalf of me and my team here, we thank you for tuning in as we get back to the matchup between the Knights and the Spuds. Is that sent cross crease, knocked away by Colborne, taken in here. Spuds trying to drive up. That was Namook that got caught up to by Tim Lynn before Keiko takes that in and moves it over to the side. Shot taken in, into the middle. That was Stahlberger trying to dart forward. Missing the header was Hussein, moved to the middle, shot taken. That just kind of rolls along the ground and is scooped up by Evan Shirk. Here's Shirk looking for options. He takes a kick and sends that high and into the air. Knocked down by Colborne. Colborne with it now. Sends it back to Alawi. Alawi sends a kick up that's headed down and then sent out by the Knights. As that stays in bounds, here's Neef with a chance. Neef trying to dart along the sidelines. Stop and go, trying to dart through the box, sends that back. Here's Grasvara with a chance, blocked down by Colborne. And sent out by the Spuds, where Peraza will regroup and send it over to Johnson. Johnson moves it up for Poto. Poto here trying to drive in, sends it into the box. And a 50-50 header is missed, but nothing will come from that, and it'll be out of bounds. And the Spuds will get a goal kick here, which Parker Gast will take. That's sent up for Ali. Ali moves that back. And that's sent across. And a shot taken by Poto, misses the net by about 6 inches. And that almost ended the overtime here. As not sure what was going on with the Spuds communication, but somehow that got sent into the box. And the Knights with a very, very close chance there to winning this game. And instead, the net will be missed, and the score stands at 1-1. Well, that's Ibrahim, sends it up into the air, and that's kept in by the Knights, sent forward and taken in by Baumgartner. Baumgartner moves it here as Hussein. Or rather, that was Ahmed. Here's Keikos. Keikos with some speed, moving across the middle, takes a left-footed shot, curving, and to the side of the nets. And there will be ruled a foul against the Knights. And a kick will be taken by the Spuds. And a yellow card has been given. Not sure who it was given to. Or rather, it will be ruled a corner kick, as in comes number 8, Max Hodney, checking into the game for number 22, Lukman Ali. I do apologize. I'm not sure what they called. I thought it was a foul at first, as the ref was signaling for something just outside the box. He did put up an X and then handed out a yellow card. I actually believe it was to goaltender Evan Shirk, but since he is a goaltender, he can stay in the game and does not have to check out. Never mind, it was not on. He does have to check out, excuse me, as in comes backup goaltender Jacob Baki coming into the game, getting his first action of tonight. As I was corrected, actually was called on goaltender Evan Shirk. As again, here's Baki checking into the game, and he's getting put into a tough position, as last time the Spuds had a corner kick. They ended up scoring, and they hope to do the same thing here. As now we await the okay to go for Hodney's Breakdown Sports corner kick. That's sent in, knocked far side, and nobody gets to that, as the Spuds ended up missing on the header, just a little bit off-timed. Now move forward, and a couple of bounces, and Colborne takes that in. Colborne to the far side. Here's Hodney. Hodney trying to move it to the middle. Hussein trying to get a break, but Baki comes out and stops that chance. And he sends a punt up. Taken in by Keikos. Keikos moves it to the side. Taken in by Johnson of the Knights. Moves it up to Poto. Poto tries to send a hard boot pass forward, and Vinette watches that and takes it in. And Vinette trying to explore options here. Sends a high kick into the air. That bouncing for nobody in particular, sent up for Poto of the Knights. Knocked off the ball by Stahlberger. Stahlberger still with the ball, sends it over to Keikos. Keikos with it, moves it over to Hodney. Hodney moves it back to Colborne. Colborne far side here for Funk. Funk to the middle. Move back for Baumgartner. Baumgartner up here for Hodney. Hodney moves it to the side. Over here for Funk. Funk back to Hodney. Hodney moves it to the middle for Keikos. Keikos pass to the middle, darting to the net, and a great defensive play by the Knights sends the kick out of bounds. And back in comes goaltender Evan Shirk, as Baki stops the one chance, as well as his team stopping the corner kick. And he has done his part well for the Knights so far. And with 4:50 remaining in this second 10-minute half, Shirk will take a kick up. That sent over the head of both Spud and Knight players and taken in and knocked out of bounds by the Spuds. That's moved in, move forward. Here's Timlin. Timlin up along the side, and that's too much juice on that shot. And here's Vinette with it. Vinette has played very well tonight, making numerous big stops as well as aggressive plays that has kept the Spuds in the game, to be quite frank. Starting all the way back in the first half, in the first 20 minutes of play, making a diving save to keep it scoreless, followed by about 2 or 3 other big saves, as well as a couple others that he was just there where he needed to be, and doing his part for this team that has led to the point where we are at right now, as the Spuds send that goal kick up, headed forward by Colborne. Moving forward by Keikos. Keikos getting quite a bit of height on that. That's knocked into the air by Johnson. That's Stahlberger. Stahlberger tries to move that up along the side for Hussein, but it's out of bounds. And now a throw-in will take place for Alex Johnson. Johnson sends that in, knocked out by Stahlberger. Again thrown in. Knocked to the side by Al-Lawi. Here's Hodney with it. Hodney over to the side. Knocked out off the foot of Poto. And Al-Lawi takes the throw-in. That sent in for Colborne. Here's Poto moving it up. Al-Lawi manages to get that away, and here's Colborne. Moves it up here. That goes off of the feet of Hussein. Hussein tries to make a move. And Al-Lawi moves that forward. So we have some physicality here. And a foul will be ruled. And the clock is stopped. As number 12, Osama Al-Lawi checks out of the game with an apparent injury here. And number 2, Razak Al-Shamani checks back into the game for the Spuds. And so for the free kick here with almost exactly 3 minutes remaining here in this overtime, that'll be sent into the box and moved forward by the Spuds. Moved into the middle and intercepted here. That's Timlin moving it to the far side, intended for Poto. Poto fighting Al-Shamani for it, trying to move it around, but Al-Shamani wins that. He'll move it forward before a stoppage of play is called and a foul will be ruled on the Knights of St. Michael Albertville. And so we await the free kick here. And that's sent back, and Gast will elect to take that right at the edge of the box. That's line drive of a free kick is sent forward and taken in here. Moved over to the side. That's for Miller, bouncing just past him. And the Spuds with some pretty good defense. Gast will send that up for Hussein. Hussein trying to settle that down, but he's knocked off the ball by Jordan, and now the Knights move it up. Headed forward by Hodney. And that goes out of bounds on a Timlin attempted almost move around. And now the Spuds get a throw in, as here's Funk taking that. He'll throw that along the side. And then knocked forward by Oscar Peraza to kickstart the Knights. That'll move forward, intended for Poto, but that'll be knocked away by Al-Shamani. And with 1 minute remaining here, we do get a corner kick for the St. Michael Albertville Knights. And as we await, it'll be sent in. And a shot will go on net that misses it by about 10 feet. And Vinette will get a goal kick. And now here comes Baumgartner teeing up for a goal kick with 17 seconds remaining in the game. Sends it forward off of the head of Hodney. Colborne tries to get to that. The Knights might have one more chance here. Poto sends it into the box, and Vinette swallows that one up with under 5 seconds remaining here. And he will eat out the rest of the time as we are headed into a shootout in this Section 8 AAA Finals game. Now, just a reminder for all you folks at home, I will take you through the official rules of the MSHSL and their tie-breaking procedure of what would happen if something were to happen as similar to tonight, with a tie still persisting after the overtime. In it, each coach will select 5 players either on or off the field to take the penalty kicks. Again, that can be anybody along the sidelines or anybody that was in the game. And a coin toss will determine which team shoots first. And the referee will designate the captain, of which will call the toss. The team winning the coin toss has the choice of shooting either first or second, and then the teams in turn will alternate kickers, with the goalkeeper being any eligible team member. So it does not have to be the actual goaltender in game in the different colored jersey. It can be any eligible team member. And the team scoring on the greater number of kicks shall be the winner. And as we get ready here for the shootout, we await to see which 5 players will be selected from each club. In the event that the score is still tied, we will go an additional 5 players behind that. However, if for some reason the 6th kicker ends up scoring, a winner will be declared if one team scores and the opponent fails to return. A different player shall take each kick, and not until 10 players of each team can you have a repeat. So at least 10 different people would have to take a kick through the first 2 rounds if it does happen to go past those first 5. You just repeat the procedure until one team comes out ahead. And so we are in sudden death, well, rather not sudden death, but shootout here at Jim Goda Stadium as we await more soccer action in this finals game.
They're going to decide which 2012 soccer championship for Section 1's here. And it ended in a shootout. And we won.
I have just been told a little bit of history knowledge. The 2012 section finals was held here at Jim Goda Stadium, and Moorhead did end up coming out on top in that one. So we hope to have history repeat itself here, but only time will tell as we head in. It will be a duel between Evan Shirk and Jacob Vanette as to which goalie will make more saves, and their respective team members obviously trying to score any way they can. And we await the referee's signal to get going. And we are ready to go here. As both teams line up, and we are awaiting the beginning of the shootout. And as the referees take down the numbers of who will be shooting, we are still awaiting the okay to go. And here we are away, as the first member to take the kick will be for the Knights. And it will be Alex Johnson taking that kick. And as we go along, he takes the first shot into the lower right-hand corner of the nets, and the Knights go up 1-0 in the shootouts on their first shot. And up comes Moorhead's first shooter, number 5, Ben Colborn. As he gets ready for the kick against goaltender Evan Shirk.
Number 5, Ben Colborn, set to shoot for Moorhead.
As he lines up, ready to send it in. And a goal will be scored by Colborn. After what looked like an initial stop, he put enough spin on it where it just bounces into the net. And the shootout is evened up at 1-1 after one round. As in comes the second shooter for the Knights. Number 14, Fred Poto, attempting to make it 2-1 in favor of the Knights as he lines up here against goaltender Jacob Vanette. Save by Jacob Vanette as he attempted to send that into the same spot as Alex Johnson, and Vanette makes that save. And now up comes number 11, Mohammed Hussein for your Moorhead Spuds, taking Moorhead's turn in the second round.
Number 11, Mohammed Hussein.
Lining up to take that kick. Lining up for it. Making his decision. Bearing down, takes the kick, sent in, and a save by Evan Shirk. Keeps the score in the shootout at 1-1. And now up comes the third shooter for the Knights, as he will look to beat Jacob Vanette again in this third round. It'll be number 13, Jared Timlin.
Number 13, Jared Timlin for the Knights.
As he lines up and takes his shot. Saved by Jacob Vanette. Diving to his right, reacting perfectly. Makes the save. Keeping the shootout at 1-1. And up comes the spud kicker looking to take the lead here. Is number 7, Mohammed Namouk.
Ready to kick for Moorhead, number 7, Mohammed Namouk.
Namouk lining up his shot. He sends it in. He scores! The Spuds take the lead, 2-1, with 2 rounds remaining. As now we are headed into this 4th round of play in this shootout. We await St. Michael Albertville as they elect to send up number 7, Dylan Malik.
Number 7, Dylan Malik for St. Michael Albertville.
Here's his shot, sent into the lower part of the net, and he will score as he fooled Vanette and ties up the shootout at 2-2 as Moorhead takes their turn here in the 4th round of this shootout. It'll be number 22, Lukman Ali, taking it for the Spuds. As he lines up his shot, he'll take it in, he scores! And the Spuds take the lead in the shootout, 3-2, headed into the final round. And now we await. It'll be number 22, Tyler Jordan, taking the 5th round kick for the Knights against goaltender Jacob Vanette. He lines up, takes the shot, and a save by Jacob Vanette. The Spuds are going to the state tournament the #1 seeded Spuds take down the Knights at home in shootouts, with Vanette making 3 out of 5 saves to end the game. And your hometown Moorhead Spuds have beat the Knights of St. Michael Albertville 2-1 on your Northwest Blind scoreboard. And we thank you for tuning in tonight to this amazing matchup of these two very good teams. And for Carter Castoris and my crew here at Spuds TV, we wish you all a good night.
For their help in hosting the Section 8-3A Boys Soccer Championship this evening. We'd also like to extend our thanks to all the schools and staff of Section 8 AAA for hosting other section contests this fall season. We want to extend our congratulations to the players and coaches for their fine play and sportsmanship displayed during this entire tournament. And we also appreciate the sport and sportsmanship displayed by the parents and fans throughout the tournament games. Trophies and medals will be presented to the first and second place teams in all section tournaments administered by Region 8 AA. Presenting the trophies this evening are the activities directors of both schools from St. Michael Albertville and Moorhead. Mr. Dean Hago of Moorhead High School and Mr. Keith Cornell of St. Michael Albertville High School. The head coaches of each team will present the medals to their individual players. Presenting the medals to the runner-up, St. Michael Albertville, is the head coach, Mr. Tomas Rodriguez. Will all the players please come forward as their names are called to receive their medal? First up, we have Jake Baki. Next, we have Evan Shirk. Tate Harrison. Alex Johnson. Anthony Arroyo Nunez. Oscar Peraza. Ben Harkin. Dylan Mollick. Dylan Anderson. Maverick Neef. Carter Miller. Jared Tiblin. Fred Poto. Gavin Smithers. Riley Rohr. Kaz Boudre. Dylan Ortiz. Jackson Bean. Andrew Butkowski. Tyler Jordan. Nathan Schwartz. And finally, Giovanni Grassavaro. Do we have student managers to be presented to? Student managers we have listed are Kate Koralke, Paige Lehman, Ashlyn Hoffman, and Noah Jackson. Once again, our congratulations to St. Michael Albertville for their excellent season. Great play tonight and their second place finish in the Section 8-3A 2021 section tournament. Will the captains of the Knights please come forward to accept their second place trophy? Once again, congratulations, St. Michael Albertville. I've called many games, and this is probably one of the better matches in any sport that I've called. Congratulations to both squads tonight. And next, presenting the medals to our champion, Moorhead Spuds, is the head coach, Mr. Ben Patry. Will the Spuds players please come forward as their name is called to receive their medals? Our first Spud, Dalton Songstick. The goalkeeper, Jacob Vanette. Razik Al-Shamani. Keaton Keeping. Carter Johnson. Big Ben Colborne. Lukman Samani. Mohammed Namouk. Max Hodney. Abdirahman Ahmed. Reaver Keiko. Mohammed Hussein. Osama Alawi. Connor Kuntz. Justin Stahlberger. Jesse Jarney. Abdizamek Ibrahim. Elliot Funk.
The trick with this bag is you have to look, see it's got this picture. Yep. Here.
Parker Gast. Colin Baumgartner. Lukman Ali. And finally, Brandon Abola. And will the Spud student managers please step forward? Nazra Shubi. And Dorlena Wu. Once again, our congratulations to the Moorhead Spuds for their excellent season and fine play tonight, and a first place finish in the 8-3A 2021 section tournament. Will the captains of the Spuds please come forward to accept their first place trophy? Once again, congratulations to Moorhead and to St. Michael Albertville. Fantastic soccer match. And as someone always said, too, on the way out, you can certainly pay again. Great match.